Live, Spain in tears, Princess Leonor and Prince Christian wedding shocks Europe. Imagine the sound of church bells echoing across the ancient streets of Copenhagen. The royal flags of Denmark and Spain flutter side by side in a cold northern breeze. Europe watches in awe as a new royal chapter unfolds before their eyes. Everyone expected elegance, grace, and tradition. But no one, absolutely no one, expected this. A royal union that was supposed to unite two kingdoms, has left one in tears. Spain is heartbroken, Denmark is stunned, and the rest of Europe is asking one question: how did this fairy tale turn into shock and disbelief? From the moment Princess Leonor, the radiant heir to the Spanish throne, stepped out of the royal car, her every movement spoke of destiny. Her gown shimmered like starlight, a blend of Spanish pride and Danish sophistication. Cameras flashed, crowds gasped, and yet, behind that serene smile, there was something deeper. Something unsaid. As she approached Prince Christian, standing tall in his regal Danish uniform, the crowd could feel it, a tension, a spark, a silence between two hearts caught between duty and desire. This was no ordinary royal wedding. This was history colliding with emotion, tradition clashing with truth. For years, whispers had danced through royal corridors, about the friendship between the young Spanish crown princess and the future king of Denmark. Two heirs to two thrones, bound by royal obligation, yet drawn together by something more human, something dangerously real. Their families had crossed paths many times at royal events, baptisms, banquets, and national celebrations. Each time, the connection between them grew stronger. What began as childhood camaraderie evolved into a quiet, secret admiration, one the world never saw coming. And now, under the golden arches of Copenhagen's cathedral, that hidden story finally burst into the open. Spain's beloved Leonor, symbol of modern royalty, daughter of King Felipe and Queen Letizia, now stood hand in hand with Prince Christian of Denmark, the grandson of Queen Margrethe. The air trembled with anticipation. But even as the archbishop began the ceremony, the emotion on Leonor's face told another story. There were tears in her eyes, not of fear, but of overwhelming reality. She was not just marrying a prince. She was leaving her kingdom behind. Spain watched in silence. Millions at home held their breath as the future Queen of Spain said, "I do," not in Madrid, but in Copenhagen. And in that moment, Spain's pride turned to heartbreak. The heir of their crown was now tied to another throne, another nation. Was this love, or political destiny? The answer lies in the quiet details of that day. The subtle glances between King Felipe and Queen Letizia, their expressions caught between dignity and loss. The Danish royal family smiling gracefully, but aware of the storm brewing beyond their palace walls. The union that was meant to symbolize alliance was, in truth, a collision of royal worlds. Behind the golden glow of celebration, Europe sensed a rift forming, a question that no one dared to voice. Would this marriage strengthen two monarchies, or divide them forever? In Spain, the reaction was immediate. Crowds gathered outside the royal palace in Madrid. Some waved flags, celebrating Leonor's happiness. Others wept, feeling as if their princess had been taken away. "She belongs to Spain," an elderly woman said, clutching a small photo of Leonor in her military uniform. "Not to Denmark. But love, as it always does, defied the rules of kingdoms." When Leonor and Christian exchanged their vows, there was no mistaking the sincerity in their voices. Two young royals, born into tradition, standing together against the weight of centuries. Their union wasn't just political, it was deeply personal. As the choir filled the cathedral with music, the world outside seemed to fade. It was just them, two hearts, one destiny. Yet that destiny carried a cost neither could escape. Because for Leonor, every step she took down that aisle was a step away from the life she'd always known. The Spanish people had watched her grow, from the shy girl at her father's coronation to the confident woman taking her oath to serve Spain. Now, she was walking into another royal lineage, another crown, another country. And though her lips smiled, her eyes held a storm. The royal carriage that carried them through Copenhagen's streets was met with cheers, applause, and rose petals. But back in Spain, television commentators spoke in solemn tones. "This is the end of an era," one said. "Spain's future queen has become Denmark's princess." As evening fell, the royal reception began in the grand halls of Amalienburg Palace. Candlelight shimmered off crystal chandeliers. The finest music of Europe played as dignitaries toasted to love, unity, and diplomacy. Yet among the polished smiles and royal speeches, a single question lingered: what will become of Spain's monarchy now? Some royal experts whispered that this marriage could mark a new European alliance, a bridge between North and South, between tradition and progress. Others warned it could weaken Spain's royal future, casting uncertainty on the line of succession. King Felipe, ever the composed monarch, raised his glass to the newlyweds. "May your union be blessed with wisdom and strength," he said. But when cameras caught him glancing at Queen Letizia, her eyes shimmered with tears. In that brief, unspoken moment, the world saw what it truly meant to be royal, to sacrifice personal dreams for national duty, to watch your child belong not just to you, but to history. Later that night, a private moment was caught by cameras, Leonor and Christian stepping onto the palace balcony. The city lights reflected in their eyes. The crowd below roared in celebration. He took her hand gently, and she leaned into him, whispering something no microphone could catch. Whatever she said, it made him smile, and for that moment, the world saw not two royals, but two souls, united by something no crown could dictate. But back in Spain, the silence was heavy. News anchors repeated the same phrase again and again: Spain is in tears. This was not the fairy tale they expected. This was a love that had redrawn the map of Europe's royal future. In the following days, debates raged in Spanish Parliament. Could a queen to be live abroad? Would Leonor's children, future heirs, hold Spanish titles or Danish citizenship? The legal and emotional lines blurred as the world realized that this wedding had not just changed two lives, it had changed the very balance of Europe's royal bloodlines. And yet, amid the politics and headlines, Leonor remained calm. In her first statement as Princess of Denmark, she said softly, "Wherever I serve, Spain lives within me. I am my father's daughter, and my heart belongs to my people." Her words resonated through every corner of Spain. It was the voice of a young woman caught between two worlds, standing with dignity amid chaos. As days turned into weeks, public sentiment began to shift. What began as tears turned into pride. Spaniards realized that their princess had not abandoned them, she had expanded their legacy. She had become a bridge, not a departure. Europe, too, began to understand. The shock softened into admiration. For in a time when monarchy often feels outdated, Leonor and Christian had reminded the world what it truly means to serve with heart. Their love story, born from friendship, forged through duty, and crowned with courage, has now become a symbol of a new era. Spain may have cried that day, but those tears carried more than sadness, they carried the weight of love, pride, and transformation. And as the sun set over Copenhagen, casting a golden light over the palace rooftops, Princess Leonor and Prince Christian began their new life together, not as symbols of separation, but as proof that even among thrones and titles, love remains the most powerful crown of all. The world will never forget that day. The day Spain wept, Denmark rejoiced, and Europe watched history being rewritten, by two hearts that dared to love beyond borders.